So it's a very, very misty morning today, and I'm up very, very early, ready to make a Christmas cake. Now I could have done it later on in the day, but I wanted it to be a nice mindful experience and not an experience where I would have children walking in and out and running around and asking me for different things. So here I am, everybody's in bed, and I'm getting ready to make the Christmas cake. So I've gone ahead and I've printed off quite a simple recipe. In fact, it's marked easy. So that's going to be brilliant for me. And for the most of it, I'm sticking to the recipe. I'm just adding in different fruits and nuts that I like. There's only myself, my mother and my eldest daughter who likes Christmas cake. So I think it costs a lot anyway to make a Christmas cake. So you might as well stick in there what you really like and what you can really enjoy. So I don't put raisins in my Christmas cake. I tend to swap it out for apricots. So it is a lighter cake in the end, but very, very delicious. And if you've never added apricots to your Christmas cake before, then maybe one year give it a try. You won't be disappointed. Now, the one thing I will say, if you've never baked a Christmas cake before, don't be scared to try it, especially if you or people that are coming over Christmas like and enjoy Christmas cake, because there's nothing better than a well-made, homemade Christmas cake. They blow the shop ones out of the water, but don't be scared. I can remember when I started making them, I were quite anxious because the whole thing of a Christmas cake kind of can trigger anxiety, I think, because you think that it's going to be difficult. But I think a fruit cake is one of the easiest things that you could make because they're very hardy. And unless you go burning it and then, start again. If you've burnt it, start again. It's a learning process, isn't it? So hopefully I'm not going to burn mine. Last year I didn't make one. My son made one instead. And unfortunately that got thrown in the bin because it was raw. Yes, I left him to it and we came to ice it and it just did not feel right at all. And he'd been feeding it, over the weeks, and it was raw inside. So I think we had a shop bought one last year. But other than that, I do try to make one. And as I say, quite simple. Let's click some music on. Let's set the scene for a nice, peaceful cake making experience. And let me show you what I've done so far. I've been soaking the fruit that I'm going to be using as the base for the cake. Obviously a fruit cake is fruit heavy, isn't it? So there's 1 kilogram of mixed fruit in here, and what we've got quite a lot of sultanas, apricots and cherries, and they're your fruits. Usually I add dry cranberries, but couldn't find any this year, and the ones that I did find, I didn't want to pay the price, so we can do without it. It's fine. It smells gorgeous already. It's been soaking for maybe about 18 hours, and we're soaking it in this French brandy. I did mention it to Daz that this is what I was using because I think it's quite expensive, this one, but it'll taste really nice. So 150 mils of that brandy has gone in here, and then we're going to take it over to the stove because you pop your fruit and your sugars in a pan. So we've just added as ingredients to a pan, and we're going to melt it all down. We're going to simmer it for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to let it cool for about half an hour. So while this mixture is sitting for 30 minutes, we're going to now get all the other ingredients ready to pop in to the bowl when it's ready. And we're doing almonds, however I'm going to add some pecan nuts into it as well because I like pecan nuts. I'm just going to chop those. I think I've gone for about 60 grams of pecan nuts, 100 grams of almonds. I'm just going to roughly chop them. So it's been about half an hour now, so I think we can do the rest. So there we are at the moment. It's looking lovely. Smells divine. We're going to just go ahead and add the rest of his ingredients. So we've got 100 grams of almonds, and 175 grams of plain flour. Got 100 grams of flaked almonds and about 60 grams of pecan. Just give that a stir for a minute, stir it all in. Give it a really good stir, making sure that everything's combined and that there's no pockets of flour. I've left warming the oven up here because it's electric and it makes a noise, but right now you would be warming your oven up to 160. I'll do that in a bit. And it's going to be baking for a good couple of hours. So there we go. There's nothing to doing the mixture. I think the secret is in not burning it. So let's move that to one side and let's get the so in your tin you've got 2 layers of greaseproof paper, parchment paper. And on this recipe it says wrap the outside of the tin with 2 layers of newspaper and secure it with a string. I've never done that, so I'm not going to do that today, and hopefully we're not going to end up with a disaster on our hands. Let's get this in to there. So this is a 20 centimetre tin. There we go. And then we're just going to pop it in the oven for a couple of hours and we'll see how it turns out. And I think whilst the cake is in the oven, I'm going to treat myself to a pot of tea, because I think after all that hard work baking the cake, I deserve it. Well, the Christmas cake is out of the oven. It's cooked through, I've tested it, I've poked it a couple of times, and in the end, halfway through, I took it out to see if it was all right, and I did cover it with greaseproof paper just to make sure that there was no burning. Fortunately, at the minute, it looks okay. So I'll leave it to completely cool in the tin, which is going to take a while because it's a bit of a hefty cake. And then once it's completely cool, I'll cover it in cling film. And then every week I'll just get it out and pour a little bit more of the brandy in. And then I'm going to ice it around about the 20th of December. Thank you ever so much for joining me to have a look at making my Christmas cake. I hope that if you're making your own cake or baking your own mince pies this year, that it goes very well and you enjoy the fruits of your labour. Until next time, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. Bye.